It's on. Yeah, it's on. People are here. So yeah, didn't make a video. Couldn't think of anything to make that I wanted to make. So we're doing this now. Yeah, I'm in a video. No, you're in a stream. That's worse because nobody watches them. Well, except now. But as soon as it's up, pretty much no one's gonna watch. But whatever. I don't remember people usually tuning in this fast. Monster School is dead, and I've been saying that for like over a year now. If you want more of that, you can go to whatever channel is currently doing it. Apparently, they do it worse than me though, but that only makes me want to make it less because I just want to stay the one who did it best. If I try again, maybe I'll do it poorly, and then I won't be the one who did it the best anymore. But yeah, no, I don't like Monster School. It sucks. I don't want to make it. I don't enjoy making it anymore. If you like it, well, okay. You gave me views and stuff, but I'm moving away from that. On to, well, currently nothing. It's like the topic of this current video. Nothing. We ain't doing jack shit. Wait, that was a double negative. But yeah, I don't really have any idea what to do. I didn't think of any topics or anything. I just thought, hey, I was supposed to make a video this week. I didn't make a video. What do? I click the stream button. I know Monster School is dead, and I know that you are done with after animations. But so does this mean that Adventures is done? Yeah, like I would like to make Adventures kind of, but two problems. First of all, no, actually several problems. First of all, I can't do that anymore. Like animation is just not something I really enjoy. I've come to realize, and it's a lot of animation there. And also, most of the voice actors are probably gone by now. I know there's one who's still around, and it's ironically the voice actor for the rebel leader, who I killed. He's the one who's been sticking around the longest. By the way, if he's watching this, then hey, you're a cool guy. I like you. I mean, I like the others as well to various degrees, but I mean they're gone, so they can't hear me say that. But just like I would like to finish it in more of a like more in a way just saying what I would have done, maybe reflect on what I did and just kind of do the making of thing. But first I want to actually make good videos so that I can actually I want to prove that I can actually do it well. So when I do that, I can do it well. Anyway, let's see if I missed something important. Have you ever seen the much more Elsagate-like Monster School videos by the users? Nah, I don't watch other Monster School videos. I don't see the point. I mean, I wouldn't watch my own if someone else made them. And yeah, looking at the thumbnails, I don't really see a reason to spend minutes of my life watching that shit. Like, in comparison, my videos are actually quite good. Like, if that's the standard, then I'm fucking great. But by my own standard, they're not good at all. But you know. Don't have to make animations anymore if you don't want to. It'd be cool. So. Yeah, I mean, I would like to make animated things. I just don't want to animate them. And I'm not gonna be able to get other animators to do work for me, at least not the way I want them to, because I'm a huge control freak. I need to be hands-on with everything. So if I can't do something myself, I probably won't do it, unless I can find someone I just really, really trust with it. Did you enjoy making the Monster School videos before the last one? I mean, I enjoyed them while I was doing them. That's why I did them. But eventually I just found that I didn't enjoy them, and then I stopped making them and tried shifting over to other stuff. And well, then I got hit by depression, and then I stopped doing just everything altogether. A making of series would be pretty neat, I think. Basically to elaborate on what occurred, what would occur. Yeah. Like, just as early as looking at the very first episode, what I wanted it to be versus what it became is like I should have just stopped right there. I am not qualified for this, not story-wise, not skill-wise, just not anyways. I guess I can change the topic over to something. I don't really know what we're doing here. I'll go with, I don't know. I don't know how much fits in this thing. Oh, it sizes itself. That's decent, I guess. I wish I could do this without it being in real time. I should have looked into that earlier, but I haven't because, I don't know. And we're gonna have to change the topic soon though, because that is hard to look at, how small it is. So we currently have 40 people. That's twice of what I usually have. It's probably not gonna last long, but hey, it's nice. Personally, I'd like to see more top 10 lists. I don't really want to make more top 10 lists, honestly. Like, the reason I want to make them is because I wanted to talk on about the stuff on the lists, and if I'm gonna do that, I might as well just do that. So I'm more interested in doing like reviews and analysis and that kind of things. I actually have a lot of ideas for it, but as I said before, like while I would like to make them, I don't feel like I will be qualified to. There's a lot of what happens with video ideas. Like I have ideas for videos, but I feel like if I did them, it would not turn out well enough. Or they would turn out well, but then since I have no audience left, nobody would see them, and then it would be wasted. But on the other hand, I'm gonna have to make good stuff in order to get people to watch my shit, and yeah, it's just a big circle jerk of stuff that makes no sense. Because that's my brain for you. Have you heard of the game Terraria? No, enlighten me about this Terraria thing that everyone hasn't heard about. Yeah, no, I know what Terraria is, and I played it. I don't really like it. I'm gonna change the topic to that, because I'm gonna talk about that now for a while, if for no other reason than to change the topic from this long-ass horrible thing. Yeah, like, I don't really like it much, because there's just not really much to the game. Like, there is stuff there, but I want story and stuff in my game. Or I just want it to be like all-out sandbox, like, you know, I'm having trouble explaining. Terraria walks this weird line where it feels like it should have a story, but it just doesn't. Like, it has NPCs, it has boss fights, it has biomes and stuff that is alluded to, but it doesn't really have anything. It just kind of happens. You just kind of unlock NPCs rather than meeting them and talking to them. You don't really encounter bosses as much as summon them for your own gain. Like, it's basically just, it's so artificial. It's basically just a grind for resources. You can fight bosses, so you can get more resources to fight more bosses until you run out of bosses. It's not really any story. Like, I don't know any story behind the Eater of Worlds or Skeletron or whatever. Like, they're just kind of there to be killed, and I need more than that. I need a story behind them. Like, and also, if it's gonna be a grind, then at least it be a fun grind. Have you ever played Underrate? That one I actually don't know about. Haven't played that one. I know what you mean, but I would address a question up here. Have you watched Mycon Earth 2018? You know what? I'm just gonna put that up as a topic because I haven't watched them because I don't care about Minecraft anymore. Well, I care about the game. I just don't care about what's happening to it currently. Like, I don't care about it. I don't care for it. But I still subscribe to Mojang because I always have been. It was one of my first subscription on my channel. But at this point, it's mostly just as a reminder of what I hate about how Minecraft is currently being done. Because first of all, the channel isn't even called Mojang anymore. Like, Mojang has just been erased. It's just Minecraft now. The channel is called Minecraft. Because that's all they are now. That's all that Microsoft reduced them to. But yeah, like, I have been, like, because I'm subscribed to them, I've been seeing the videos pop up in my subscription box, and ew. ew. That's just my reaction every single time. It's just, ugh. What happened? I mean, I know what happened. They became corporatized, but there's no soul there. It's so empty. I'm gonna see if I can find any examples. I just have to look at my sub feed to find that. Yeah, look, we're revealing new fucking mini games because that's not something that the community should do. That's something we do now. We're gonna feed you creativity. Yeah, it's something that I noticed a lot when Microsoft took over. They started like kind of discouraging player-created content by making like official content, and obviously you have to pay for it, like stupid ass Minecraft Realms bullshit and whatever. What else we got? There was one thing that really pissed me off. Oh yeah, here's one of where they're talking about mods, because yeah, that's a thing we did, right? Yeah, blah, blah. Also, these people in the thumbnail, or like in the fucking thumbnail gif, like these aren't Minecraft people. They're not. They had nothing to do with it. They're just like, maybe they are, and I just don't know. But I just see these old fucks that had nothing to do with the game. And it's just, yeah, like there's no, like the closest you have now is Jeb. Like Jeb is the guy who's like basically Minecraft's soul at this point, but that guy isn't. That guy doesn't have a soul anymore. Like I've seen him, like I watched him when when they were like voting for a mod that was a stupid idea and a stupid mob came out of it. But like I watched those little shorties where he like announced the ones you can vote on, and holy shit, like there's nothing left in that poor man. He was just stone-faced, nothing in his voice, just kind of like, I'm talking like this because I am representing a company. Ugh. But here's the one that really like angered me. This was one that showed up in my feed today, and that is, let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, making a map with MC Edit. How MC Edit works? Excuse me. You are on a Minecon, presumably like showing new Minecraft things. Why are you showing an old ass tool that you had nothing to do with? Like, at least invite the fucking guy who created it to show how it works. I don't want to see this as like, if they did that, I haven't watched the video because I'm not gonna waste my time on that. But if they did that, if the guy in the thumbnail is actually the guy who made the software, then that would be kind of neat, I guess. But I don't really think so, because they mention in the description that the panelists explain how it works, who of course I haven't heard about any of them. It's like, hey, here's this thing we didn't make, but we're gonna take credit for it, haha. Because remember when we had a community that made creative stuff? Yeah, we don't have that anymore, but we're gonna talk about it. It's kind of like fucking Bethesda talking about Skyrim on E3 for the 25th time. Yeah, it's despicable. I hate it. I hate Minecraft as it is now. I love the game, and that's what just makes me hate more how it's being run currently. Something that's been a topic previously on these little streams, because of course I'm still a Minecraft guy. I haven't really made anything of note to change that, so it's gonna be a label I'm stuck with until I manage to get back into making good videos that are about something else. Anyway, let's see here. Do you have a girlfriend? I've had one, and if you look at my previous streams, you'll actually notice that. I mean, I'm not gonna berate you for not doing that. I wouldn't watch them. Like, I actually only watch anyone's streams if they're live. But yeah, I have had a girlfriend, and she's actually been on my channel before. But now she's not my girlfriend anymore. But she's still my friend. She's still one of my closest friends. We just decided that yeah, we're not compatible as a couple, for various reasons that I talked about before, I believe. I'm not going to talk about it in further detail without her here to, like, well, fact check me, basically. Like, I don't like talking about other people. Like, I'll talk about myself. Like, nothing is really sacred to me, or nothing is sacred, nothing is secret. But since it's about other people, I don't want to, like, reveal stuff about them. I don't want to violate their privacy, only my own. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on Elder Scrolls Blades? I can't even change the topic to that because I just have no real thoughts on it. It's just kind of a game before the next Elder Scrolls. It's like, hey, here's a little thing we made, and it's a phone game, so nobody really cares. Like, yeah, I know there are good phone games, blah blah blah, but you know it's not gonna be that relevant. It's just gonna have this little community, it's gonna have this little time, and then it's not gonna be played much anymore, or it's not gonna be this big thing. It's just kind of a, yeah, as I said, it's just a little game to keep the Elder Scrolls fans going until it's time for the actual next Elder Scroll. We could talk about that, I guess. I don't know. How many people in the chat are Elder Scrolls fans? Just scope out the demographics here. Because the topic is no longer Minecon, I gotta change that. We could also hide this thing conveniently. I'll look into that while I wait for the chat to talk. Is there a hiding option? Oh, it's right there. I'm so stupid. I'm just gonna hide that for a while. Yeah, I didn't notice the big ass eye next to the damn thing. Hiding in plain sight. Wait a minute, you never heard of the Elder Scrolls? Like, I get not having played it, but how have you never heard of it? Like, is there any person left who hasn't at least heard about Skyrim? It's been everywhere. It's still everywhere. So, got a lot of staying power. But yeah, not really getting any Elder Scrolls peeps here, so I guess that's not really a topic we can talk about. Whatever. Hi, Will, greetings from Mexico. Well, hello to Mexico, I guess. Oh, Mexico, far to the south, where cactus grow. Anyway, yeah, I need a different topic real fast. Bleh. What are your favorite games right now? I don't know. I don't really play other games. Like I'm ironically playing Skyrim right now, but that's mostly like with a friend. Like I play and they watch me play. They got a weird thing where they actually like doing that. They actually like being like the backseat player. So you just kind of fool around with like 100 mods or whatever and just play the game as stupidly as possible, basically. But yeah, I don't really recall playing much of anything else. I feel like there's something obvious I'm missing, and maybe I should open up my Steam and check, but that's gonna take time and take processing power out of the stream, so who cares? Ugh. What are your honest opinions of Fortnite? I have literally no opinion on Fortnite. Like, I haven't even looked at a single second of footage of it. Partly because I just have this thing where if something is really big, I kind of make a challenge out of avoiding it to see how well I can do it. And with Fortnite, I've been very successful. I don't even know what the game is, except that it's like one of those battle royale games, and it's full of like cancer and whatever. Apparently, I don't know. I don't care. It's just, to me, it's just a fad that's gonna die out eventually. And it's not the kind of game that I would want to play myself, because, well, I don't like shooters or battle royale games. So yeah, I just kind of ignore it altogether. Yeah, this was a bad idea. Like, I had a D&D session today, so I basically used up all my brain power on that. So, but I decided to do this like basically right after it wrapped up. Yeah. Went surprisingly well though. I thought I was gonna fuck up big time there, but no. Managed to wing it pretty well. Whoa, you play D&D? Yeah, I do. I have a little group that we've been playing with. Currently I'm the DM. Another person in the group wants to be a DM as well. Well, she technically is. Like, she has been DMing like 2 or 3 sessions. But we're gonna do a thing where we like take turns DMing different sessions. But currently I'm the one doing all of it every week. What class do you play on D&D? Yeah, sure, let's just change the topic to D&D, because that's a topic I like anyway. Probably gonna do some D&D videos in the future if I ever get back to that. Let's see if that's too small, or if I should just make it actual D&D. Anyway, what class do you play on D&D? I play as a wizard, like when I actually play. As I said, I'm mostly the DM. And then I don't really play as anybody, but I also play as everybody. But yeah, I haven't played much at all, but yeah, I like magic users. And then I decided to go with the wizards, because the wizard is... Yeah, that's way too big. I'm just gonna change it back to D and D. Yeah, it's nice and big. But yeah, I decided to play as a wizard because they look like they are the best in class, like magic class. And oh fuck, I missed a D. Can't talk about the game DN. Nobody knows about that one. But yeah, like I looked into sorcerers and warlocks, and I was like, okay, I want to make a warlock. They look cool, but I'm gonna make a really edgy warlock, and I want to do that for my first campaign. So I gotta do a more neutral character. So I decided to just go with a wizard who's just kind of an ordinary wizard. But it's also he also turned out edgy because he's a fucking tiefling with no parents, and he doesn't like anyone because he's been treated poorly and whatever. I decided to put a bit of a spin on it though by making him just a full-on racist. Like the idea is usually that, oh, tieflings, they're treated poorly and the people are racist against them. But I decided to be like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna make my tiefling a racist. And it's gonna be this kind of racism where he just assumes that other people are racist against him. It's like, oh, it's because I'm black, isn't it? Instead it's like, oh, it's because I'm a tiefling, isn't it? So that at least is kind of a unique spin on it, kind of making more of the perpetrator than the victim. But yeah, just you know, a wizard, cast spells and whatever. Haven't really gotten to play with him much. I haven't really defined him as a character other than that yet. But as a DM, then well, I don't know how much I want to talk about that, because I kind of want to make videos about it afterwards, kind of like some kind of story time about how the campaign went. But yeah, I was worried that what I would get stuck as the role of the DM, because I really wanted to play the game like as a player, not as a DM. But I'm also enjoying being a DM because I'm a huge storyteller, so now I get to tell stories. Problem though is that I'm not very good at balancing out like the storytelling with the actual game, so I get caught up with too much talking and my players get tired of it. Have you ever considered just recording a D&D session? I have considered it and then rejected the notion because I don't think that's a good idea at all. Like, like, I just feel like it wouldn't be natural. Like, we would all be thinking about the fact that we're being recorded and try to do it differently. So I'd much rather just do a session and then kind of like retell it in a more scripted format. And which is probably what I'm gonna do eventually. But yeah, you had to wear his mask for the whole session. Nah. I mean, I assume that we would, like, I actually thought about how I would set it up. Like, I would have this thing where, like, we don't show faces, but instead we kind of show the map. Like, if there's fighting going on, I have a representation and whatever. But that takes a lot of editing that would require us to do it in post, so we couldn't just, like, live stream or whatever. But yeah. And then the tiefling went seduced everyone. Yeah. That happened. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the story I guess I could tell real quick. I think I missed something. I don't think I missed something actually. No, never mind. But yeah, this session I was really worried about because I was kind of having a tonal shift where now it's been pretty grounded in reality. Well, you know, reality, it's D&D. And then suddenly it became very much supernatural in a way that might have turned out kind of like stupid. Kind of like when you have a murder mystery and then the answer is that, oh, it was Cthulhu all along. Which is dumb. But they actually liked it. That was apparently one of their favorite parts of the session. So, yay me, because I was really building up to that as well. So, yeah. Okay, now it's still back to about 20 viewers, is what I usually have. One sec. Blah. Do you think VR is useful or fun in any way, Will? Well, I mean, duh, it's fun. I mean, I haven't tried it myself, but it obviously looks fun. And the people who've been doing it if it's not fun. And useful, I don't know, it could be useful. Everything could be useful. Anyway, I had a D&D story that I like that happened a few sessions ago, which is like the campaign takes place in like this like town full of crime and corruption, and they're like trying to, you know, navigate the intrigue and figure out like who they can trust, and maybe eventually bring down the guild of thieves that basically runs the town. And I had this one encounter where two corrupt guards came up to them in a tavern while they were eating, and was going to arrest them for a crime that they technically committed, as in they were arrested for assaulting and stealing from a bunch of thieves because they had stolen something and they were stealing it back, basically. But the thieves had then gotten to some guards that were in their pockets and be like, hey, these guys, we don't like them, arrest them. So that was going on. And I was expecting that they would then get up from the table and run away. They didn't do that. I had this whole thing planned where they would, like, you know, run through the town, and eventually would encounter this other character from before, and he would help them out and whatever. But that didn't happen because one of the characters, a tiefling, also tiefling, lots of tieflings. But yeah, she decided that she was going to try to seduce them instead. So she rolled a persuasion check, and she rolled a 24. So instead of having a chase scene that I was intending, what happened instead was that the other characters in the party got to they got to stay there and finish their breakfast, whereas this tiefling went upstairs with the guards and had a threesome. That was fun. I gave her some bonus for that because that was a fun way to... Like, it was a bit disappointing for me because my plans were ruined, but that's gonna happen at the DM. And that was at least a fun variation of what I was intending to happen. Yeah, like it's a rogue tiefling, but it's not a very stealthy rogue. It's more focused on the charisma type skills. At the same time, I have a bard in the party that isn't very good with charisma. It's a fun party. Please change for us. No, that's a stupid thing to demand of people. Your players seem like the type of people who break DMs. They're really not, honestly. In fact, I have one of my players who is like the bard. She's kind of the moral compass of the party. Like, they have to do some shady things in order to get, like, move the story forward. And that player has actually said, like, okay, my character wouldn't be okay with this, but just to make it easier on you, I'm just gonna have her go along with it. And then I'm like, no. I appreciate the gesture, but I want it to be natural, so we gotta spend a bit more time to convince her to do the things. Like, in general, they're pretty cooperative. Like, they're not looking for exploits or ways to, like, abuse some system or whatever. Not that kind of players. The problem is more that they're kind of they avoid conflicts a lot. Like, whenever there's like a fight that's gonna ensue, like, hey, we're gonna fight you now, they're usually like, you know what, we're just gonna leave. Like, they almost just decided not to go into the first dungeon, or like not go into it, but like leave it early because they're like, yeah, you know, this is too dangerous. Let's go back and come back some other time. I managed to get him to finish it through though. But yeah, that was a bit of a slog of a session. It was, I think the how it went today went better. But yeah, it's looking fun. It's been fun. They're starting to unveil more of the story. What if I've got some telltales written down? Let's change the topic to that. Blah. So yeah, yeah, I heard about that, and I am upset about that because I like Telltale games. Like, Minecraft Story Mode was a big mistake, but it wasn't really necessarily their mistake either. It was more like Microsoft being like, "Hey, these people make story games, right? Well, we can we can make a cash grab with them, right? This is a clusterfuck of fuck you. But yeah, overall, I still like their games. Like, the only ones I've played is The Walking Dead, which I haven't actually finished yet. I just kind of dropped it at one chapter for no real reason, and then you never picked it back up. But the one that really stands out to me is The Wolf Among Us. I loved that one. Like, it made me believe in the notion that video games as interactive movies can work and not be bad, even though it's so often done terribly. David Cage. But yeah, it's like, I really like The Wolf Among Us. I like the world they established. I like the characters. I like the interactivity. There was like enough for it to feel like a game. It wasn't just a big long cutscene, basically. But what made me so upset about that is, first of all, they were planning to make a Wolf Among Us 2, which I have wanted for years. Like, might be half a decade at this point. I don't know how old that game is by now. But yeah, and when they're finally getting around to making a follow-up of that game I like so much, they're shutting down. And it came as a surprise to me too, because that doesn't really happen that often. Like, these companies just seem to be eternal. Like, they're not, but you so rarely hear about any of them closing down. Which is, like, they either keep on going or they are assimilated. Like, for instance, maybe they sell their rights to their games to EA or Microsoft or something. But yeah, like with them, they just didn't make enough money, and they decided that just meant that they were gonna stop making games. Which is such a weird concept, even though it's such an obvious one. But yeah, it's just weird that such things can happen. You forget about that when you're always looking at the same old game companies that never seem to fail, no matter how poorly they're doing. And it's so unfair too, because Telltale make good games. And meanwhile, there are real shit shows that make so much money and are so popular, even though they're terrible on like every critical level. So, out of all the companies to shut down, why did it have to be Telltale? Oh, right, because the world is unfair and sucks. But yeah, that's a disappointment to me. I really wanted The Wolf Among Us 2. Like, if they're gonna shut down, they could have at least finished that. I would have liked that. But I'm not getting that. I really wanted a sequel to that game. I liked it a lot. I wanted to make a review about it too a long time ago, but yeah, you know how that went. But yeah, it's kind of surprising too, because they got so many big deals. Like, they made a Game of Thrones game and a Batman game, all those big properties. So you would think that they would be well off because they were able to get that kind of stuff, but no, they really weren't. They weren't making enough money to break even, apparently. That's just something else going on behind the scenes, I don't know. So maybe they were paying for the license too much? I don't know the details, I just know that they are shutting down, and I don't like that. I'm sad. Yeah. That's really all I have to say about that topic. See if I missed something important in the chat. I don't think I did. Nope. I am caught up to speed, and I'm still relying on the chat to say anything. I need more topics prepared. Actually, I need to just have videos prepared. I need to make something better than this. Yeah, I have thought about videos to make, but I just can't really think of any ones to make. They're either stuff I don't want to make now, or that I can't make now, or just... Yeah, a lot of this is like stuff I want to make, like game showcases, but I don't have the games to showcase. Either because they're old and I like to update them, or they just don't exist whatsoever. Do you think Half-Life 3 exists in some dev server in the browser? Nah. I'd say that if they had anything to show, they would tease it, or they would not, because they just want to kind of like have the game ready to like take everyone by storm. Like, hey, look, it's the game that which existence was has been a meme for like the last decade or so, and here it is now. You can play it. Give us all of your money. Doesn't even have a price tag. It just we only take payment in your credit cards. I never played Half-Life though, so I don't know what the big deal is. Apparently the game ended on a huge cliffhanger and people are upset about that. Please don't ban me from this chat. Well, as long as you don't do something ban-worthy, then I won't. And I'm pretty lenient with that, unless you start spamming or something. Could have sworn there was something I wanted to say. Oh, we're not the Telltale Games anymore, so I'm just gonna hide this thing again. Yeah. If there ain't no topic, we're just not gonna have a topic shower. Ban me from chat, please. Do you have some kind of fetish? Is that like, oh yes, ban me, daddy? Guess I could, but I don't know. Sosks. I cussed. Cussing is allowed. You can say whatever you want. Also, I don't see you cussing anywhere. Are you a liar? Because lying, that's not permitted here. Yeah, it's okay, you can lie. You can just say whatever, as long as it's not linked to some shady stuff or a bunch of just spam or whatever. As I said. You can start posting a bunch of swastikas for all I care. I mean, I don't encourage that, but you know, do whatever you want. I don't control any of you. Much to my dismay. I feel like the stream is really silent right now because I'm not really talking and there's some background music, but there's background music in my head, so I don't really care. But also, I'm trying to entertain an audience, so it's kind of a problem. Opinion on The Last Jedi. Is that movie still relevant enough to talk about? Because, I mean, I have opinions on it, but I don't know. Guess I'll wait a few more seconds to see if any other topic comes up. Otherwise, I guess I'll talk about that. Doki Doki. Nah. Doki Doki is lame. Like fucking I'm not fond of what you call it, metagames. Like, I don't hate the idea of a metagame, it's just that each time I've seen it done, it's just not impressive. The whole idea of Doki Doki, as far as I can tell, is like, I mean, I've not played it but seen someone else play it, basically. Like, it's basically just, oh, look at what we can do. We can see that you're streaming and we can see that you're on Steam. Haha. Ha. Yeah, you can do that easily with a bit of basically spyware. Congratulations. You need to be clever about it, okay? Like, the idea doesn't have to be, oh, it's meta. It has to be meta because of an idea. Have you seen Infinity War? I haven't, and I'm not gonna. Because I am so sick of, well, superhero movies, really. There's been so many of them, and they just kind of blend together in my mind. And I guess Infinity War stands out a little bit, but at the same time, if you haven't seen all the other ones, it's not gonna make much sense to you because it's basically just a movie full of characters you've seen before fighting. And if you don't know who those characters are, then it's not gonna be very cool. So yeah, maybe I would have watched it if I had like bothered with all the other ones, but I just haven't. I didn't watch a Spider-Man movie, I didn't watch a Black Panther. I think the last superhero movie I watched was Wonder Woman, and that was like the first one in a long time for me. And I basically did it because there was so much buzz around it, and it was so mediocre like all the others. Like, from the entire movie, there's one scene I remember. And the scene at the end where the bad guy is forging armor for himself, like out of scrap metal around him, just kind of assembling it magically. and then just heats up, and he just pulls his fingers through the helmet to form a visor. And you know, that was a cool visual, I guess. That's all I remember from the movie. A bit of a neat visual they did. But yeah, other than that, it was just so. I didn't see any of the big things like, oh, it's so much color now, and it's a DC movie. No, there's not much color. It's very gray, like all the others. It's set in World War One. Has a bit of color at the beginning, but it looks weirdly saturated and it's just odd. And then you have that whole story about how it's an average. It's such an average superhero movie. Only reason that anyone cares about it is because, oh, it's a Wonder Woman, the one that hasn't gotten a movie before. Yeah, because it's actually becoming an accomplishment, because we now have like, what, 3 Spider-Man franchises, and I don't even know how many Batman ones. Like, I'm so sick of these characters. Just leave them alone so I can appreciate them. Don't like push them in my face until I hate it, like fucking that song from Frozen. I really liked that one when I first heard it, but now I just can't because I associate it with so much shit. I think the only movie I probably needed to see before Infinity was Thor Ragnarok. Otherwise this stands by on its own. But the problem is that you kind of, like, it's not a movie where you get a lot of character development from what I know. Like, you don't get to know the characters. You're supposed to get to know the characters before that movie. And if you don't care about the characters, then it's not really gonna matter much when you see them do things. So that's kind of the issue. But yeah, like, I'm getting really sick of these cinematic universe things. Like, it was cool when Avengers did it, but ever since then it's basically just been done for the sake of it. A Frozen sequel is coming out next year. Yeah, I know. Of course we're gonna do a sequel to that. It was so popular. Ugh. I actually looked at Disney's like upcoming movies, and some of them actually shocked me. It was really weird to see those on there. And you know what? I'm gonna talk about that for a moment because now I feel like it. Let's see here. There we go. Perfect. So there were 2 that really stood out to me, I remember. And the first one is Pinocchio. Like, why? Like, I know they're rebooting all their classics and trying to make them into soulless live-action versions for no reason, such as this fucking Lion King, which is pointless because all the characters are still gonna be CG. It's just gonna try to look like reality. It's so stupid. Ugh. But yeah, those movies have all been shit. Like, they're not shit on their own. It's just shit because they're so inferior to the original. Like, they don't add anything new. They're just so empty, which makes them just pointless to even have there. Like, oh, remember Beauty and the Beast? We did it again, but worse. Oh, remember, I don't know, Cinderella? We did it again, but worse. And they're gonna do Pinocchio again, but worse. But, like, Pinocchio is from a pretty dark era of Disney. Like, and people look back at that movie and like, oh, that was a fucked up movie, you know, with the whale and with the donkeys, and yeah, it's a freaky ass movie. Why would they make a reboot of that? So I'm actually kind of interested in seeing how they do that, because all I can think is that they're gonna water it down. Like, for instance, the donkey scene. Like, I don't know how they're gonna tackle that today. I have 2 theories. Either they're just gonna skip it outright, they're just not gonna have the donkeys at all, they're just gonna skip that part and just move on. Maybe insert something else, I don't know. Or they're going to have the donkey scene, but they're gonna have Pinocchio save them. Because that was a big thing in the original movie. He doesn't actually do anything to save them, he just kind of runs away. And that means that at the end of the movie, those donkey boys are still being donkeys. Still doing donkey things, and it's kind of dark, which is why it's great. Because it actually respects the intelligence of children and gives them a bit of hardship in their prepubescent lives. So I think they're just gonna water it down like they have all the others. But the thing is that the others were so much easier to water down, because they were already just kind of like inoffensive. Like Cinderella, nobody has really watched that movie and thought it was I don't know, bad for kids. I mean, I guess Lady Tremaine is kind of creepy, but she's nothing like what you see in Pinocchio. So that's a thing that I look forward to seeing, except I don't, because I don't want to see it, but I want to see how they did it just for curiosity's sake. Okay, that's a weird one. And however, the movie that really shocked me, like Pinocchio is an odd one to reboot. It's like, oh, why are they doing that one? But what really shocked me, that I was like, oh, like what the fuck? They're doing this? Is that they are doing? I don't remember what year it's coming out, but they are doing an Artemis Fowl movie, and that's so weird to me. Because I read the Artemis Fowl books when I was younger, and I really liked them. From what I remember, I still like them, except the latter ones, because they get kind of dumb. Like, I think it's around, what's it called? Atlantis Syndrome? It's not called that in English, but it's called something very similar in English, because in Swedish it's Atlantis Syndrome, but in English it's like something other than syndrome. Anyway, I like the books fine, they're pretty good books. And when I was a kid, I also wanted to see it made into a movie, because I was like, how a book was elevated, like, oh, there's a movie now because beer reading is for suckers. So like the idea that there's coming one now is weird enough. What's really weird to me is that it's being made by Disney. I didn't know that Disney had the rights to the Artemis Fowl books, but I guess they do, because they have the rights to everything. And I would almost be excited if it wasn't for one thing, and that's that I looked at the cast list, and I immediately knew what kind of movie it was gonna be. And it's not gonna be a good one. It's gonna be, it's gonna be like the Beauty and the Beast live action remake, only probably no, it's not gonna be like live action Beauty and the Beast. It's gonna be like the live action Aladdin, because that fucking movie cast fucking what's his name? What's his stupid name? It cast Will Smith as the genie. Like, we're talking that level of insulting casting choices. Like, I guess it's subjective how insulting it is, but yeah, just poor Robin Williams. I know it cannot be like he's never going to have anyone do that performance better than him. But Will Smith, he can't act outside of acting as Will Smith. He's not the genie. He's Will Smith. It's stupid. But anyway, I looked at the casting choices for Artemis Fowl, the movie, and I'm gonna see if I can just freshen up my memory there, so I can make sure that I'm not getting anything wrong here. Artemis Fowl movie cast. I'm just gonna look at it real quick. So there were some I didn't particularly mind. I mean, first of all, we have the fucking kid, like the kid who's gonna play Artemis, and he looks like such a kid. Like, for those of you who don't know, Artemis Fowl in the book is like this little. He's a child. He's a boy genius. I guess this brilliant, mature beyond his age little kid who finds out about this fantasy world and is this criminal mastermind. Like, he's this very detached and emotionally cold kid who eventually, of course, over the course of the books, develops more of an emotional connection with people and whatever. But this kid they cast just doesn't look like an Artemis Fowl at all. He looks like some kid you would see in like your generic ass fucking Disney Channel movie or something. He doesn't have the stiff features that I would expect Artemis Fowl to have. It's just no. And then let's see if I can separate these. Who's going to be playing Mulch again? Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, like the guy. Yeah, Mulch is a dwarf. So he's a short person. And they didn't cast a dwarf for to be Mulch, which is like, okay, fair enough. You can't always do that. They didn't do that with the Lord of the Rings to make the hobbits. I get it. I don't really care. But they have to look the part. Like, they don't have to look short, but they have to look like a dwarf. You know, dwarves have a particular way they look. Like Gimli, his actor isn't a short person. He's a pretty big person, but he looks like a dwarf in the facial area. This guy doesn't look like a dwarf. He looks like an average Joe you would meet at your fucking Walmart. Or whatever. It just doesn't look like it at all. But then we get to the ones that really start to piss me off. Like, first of all, the ones I think the only one I liked was Artemis's mom. She just kind of looks like I expected to. I believe, unless I misremember, she matches the description of her given in the book. And yeah, she just kind of looks like she's described, and I don't really mind. But then you get to everyone else, which is, let's see here, where is it? Yeah, what's Holly looking like again? I could bring up pictures, but then I have to download them, and that's gonna take too long. So that's the reason I'm not doing that. So I would show you this, but whatever. You can Google it yourself, I guess. I don't even know how many people here care about Artemis Fowl, but that's the topic we're going on right now. Yeah, okay. Is that the kid they're getting for Holly? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is. And like, I don't know about that one. I guess it's one of the better ones, but she doesn't look like... You know what, I don't even want to show what I'm talking about that one, because she's gonna be covered in CGI. I mean, she's I don't know what they're called, leprechauns, I guess? So yeah, she's just basically gonna be a voice. But, one thing that was surprised me is that they have an actor for the troll. Like, there's a troll in the book that appears in a kind of brief scene. And, trolls in this world are big beasts with tusks that aren't at all humanoid. They can't speak, they don't have a culture, they're just monsters. And they're casting a person to play one of those. Like, maybe it's just still gonna be like kind of a voice acting ordeal, but why would you even have a voice for them? Just add generic monster growls or whatever, I don't care. But then you get to the ones that kind of make me angry. And that's Butler. But yeah, let's see. But yeah, Butler is, in the book, he's described as a... basically, he is this very tall, very big guy who is Artemis's bodyguard. And they made him a black guy. Because of course they do, because, you know, we gotta have those racial quotas, am I right? We gotta change the fucking looks of a character to fit our sensibilities. And yeah, he wasn't a black guy in the books. And obviously because of that, they also had to change his daughter to be a black guy. Well, not a black guy, black girl. Which actually also fucks with her character itself, because this girl who they're having to play her has really poofy hair. Like, you know, she's got this, like, I guess, black hair where it's really, yeah, really poofy. And, like, really curly and whatever. But the thing is that it's specifically described in the books that she has a, like, what's it called again? A braid, basically, which she uses as a weapon. Like, she's a martial arts, she trains martial arts, and her teacher keeps telling her, no, you can't use your stupid ass braid as a weapon. I don't care how hard of a thing you attach to it, it's not gonna work. But she still just does it anyway because she wants to. I don't see her doing that with this hair. It doesn't look like she's gonna do that. It's a small detail, of course, but it's like just telling you how this blackwashing doesn't work for this movie. Like, it's probably gonna be pretty cliched, but one person I could see play that role is Dolph Lundgren, like the Swedish guy whose name I'm not pronouncing as Swedish because I'm stupid. But yeah, like, you know, really big guy, blonde, can easily cut his hair real short and whatever. Like, I guess he's too used to playing those roles, and it might just be hard to see the character, not Dolph. So yeah, they could just not call it casting, but like, I can think of so many better casting choices. Just stop changing the fucking race of the character. Stop changing anything. Like, it's not particularly that I care about what race they are. Just care about that they look accurate to the book. If you're gonna adapt a book, then make them look like in the book. Actually adapt the book. And if what's getting in the way of people doing that is some kind of like ideology about, oh, we need to promote blackness and gayness and whatever, then that's what I'm against. I don't have anything against the blacks or gays or whatever. I don't care. And that only makes me dislike it more, because at least if I was like for that kind of thing, like, oh yeah, we need to uplift black people and whatever, I probably would mind it less. But because I don't, all I see is that a character is being changed for such arbitrary, useless ass reasons. And yeah, it's been happening more and more. I don't like it. Stop doing it. You're not being progressive by changing a white person to a black person or a guy to a girl. All you're doing is you're being racist or sexist or whatever the other direction. Just have guys be guys, have girls be girls. And if a character isn't predetermined, like you're actually making something original for once, then you do whatever you want. I don't care how many gay characters you throw in there. It's gonna look like pandering if you make them all gay or whatever, but, you know, at least then you're not fucking up with a previously existing property. And Dragon Skull, we're talking about the Artemis Fowl movie that Disney has announced, which I didn't know existed before I looked it up for unrelated reasons. And yeah, I'm talking about the casting choices, and I don't like them. It's got the prioritizing arbitrary representation over actually portraying the characters correctly. Because yeah, some of them, they have changed the races of them because that's progressive, right? And some of them just don't look right. Like the kid isn't, actually didn't change, they didn't make him a girl or a different, or an Asian or whatever. He's just the same old kid that you would expect, but he doesn't look like Artemis Fowl. And the dwarf doesn't look like the dwarf. And yeah, it just... Oh, and also, that thing too. I missed that one. Who is that again? Who is she gonna be playing? I believe that there was one thing that really made me mad. Not really, it just made me as mad as with Butler. I'm gonna check real quick. I have to look up the actual casting list. This is hard to do on the fly, because I am lazy and I didn't prepare to talk about this. I should have opened up the fucking IMDb page first, but I didn't because I'm stupid. Yeah. Also, Commander Root is going to be a lady. He's not a lady. He's a guy. Which is like, why? Why would you do that? I mean, I know why. It's because, oh, we need more women. You already have a female lead. You have Holly already. And you have fucking... Why? And if you keep doing this, if you actually did a movie well, so that people would watch it and want more, you could maybe keep making the books until you get back to Opal. Well, you get up to Opal. Like, Opal's a lady. And there are other ladies too. There are lots of ladies in the books. Why are you making more of them when they're not needed? You're not even making more of them. You're taking guys and turning them into ladies. Yeah, I hate that as well. Like the live-action Death Note movie on Netflix where they met Ella Black. Yeah. Yeah. Netflix is... They do that. And I don't like Netflix because of that. It's like it's... You're just being racist in the other direction. There's... If you actually want equality and for everyone to kind of just be... Like... If you just want there to not be discrimination, just treat people equally. Don't insert black people or white people where they shouldn't be. Don't insert black guys or girls or straights or gays or whatever. Just put them where they're supposed to be. And if you're adapting something, that's really easy. You just make them be like the way they were when they were that they were in the original works. And if it's an original work, then well, you're free to do whatever you want, of course, but you should probably just try not to oversaturate it in any direction, like they did with whatchamacallit. I'm just gonna change the topic because we're on a different topic now. This is what I'm gonna call it. Oh yeah, I spelled it wrong. That's better. So yeah, Dragon Age. I don't play Dragon Age, but it is my understanding that they made a game that kind of pissed fans off because every character was either gay or trans or some shit like that, and it's a fantasy setting. I mean, sure, maybe that could happen, but the problem isn't like that you have that. It's that you have it where it like wouldn't be brought up. Like, for instance, there could be a lot of NPCs, and for instance, I don't know. Well, yeah, there could be a lot of NPCs in that world who are actually gay, but it just wouldn't be brought up. Just like you normally don't have straight people bring it up. Like, oh, by the way, I'm straight. Now go fetch my item that I need for the quest. Like, no, you just don't hear that. But since it is one of those things that you don't really notice if it's not stated specifically, or if you don't see specific signs of it, you have to insert that forcibly in order to show that, oh look, we put this in the game. Yeah, congratulations, have a cookie. And that's when it's really obvious that it's not because it serves any kind of story purpose or whatever, or it just kind of felt like it. It's just to pander to some kind of demographic that isn't there. Because the people who want that shit don't play your games. They don't like games usually. And if they do, that's a pretty narrow group of people to appeal to. Same thing with Mass Effect Andromeda, made by the same people, I believe, unless I'm getting that wholly incorrect. Like, aside from being an atrocity, like, technically, that game also had the same thing, where, like, for instance, the fucking default female character was supposed to not be conventionally attractive, and they made it look like a Down syndrome person. But at the same time, they paid a supermodel to, like, be her reference, which is like, if you're gonna make an average-looking person, or well, your weird idea of average, why don't you fucking hire an average-looking person to be their model? So it's just fucking stupid. It's stupid when it's done one way, stupid when it's done no matter what way it does. If you have a bunch of black characters and you decide, hey, let's make them white because I don't like black people, then that's equally stupid. It's not like which way you're doing it, it's just the essence of doing it at all. And I don't like it, and I see it more and more, and it's appearing in my fiction, and I want my fiction to be clean of that because I get enough of that in real life, and I don't like when my fucking reality escape is not an escape from reality. But yeah. I guess I maybe should start running this off. I feel like doing this a kind of short one so that I don't overdo it. I really just made it so that I have done something this week, which I have now. It's not much, but it's a something. I'm gonna remove the topic though because I'm done ranting. Fuck my voice. I've been talking when doing D&D all day, and now I'm talking while doing this. It's just my voice isn't supposed to be used as much. I'm supposed to be sitting around silently in my room doing nothing. I also hated the Ghostbusters remake. Wait, oh fuck. Yeah. Also oh yeah, no, I missed a lot of things I wanted to see here. Never mind, we're back on the topic. I have things to comment on. I didn't even notice them because I'm dumb. Okay. And when J.K. Rowling said that when Hermione was black, she would never said it back. Oh, you're talking about the thing where there was like a thing about a black person playing Hermione in a play, and she took a stance there because she's so bold and very, I don't know. J.K. Rowling is trash to me. Like, she's attacked people I like for reasons that aren't valid. Like, it's okay to attack people I like if you have reason to, but they're like stupid reasons. And like, I checked out her Twitter once, and it's the stupidest shit she says there. Like, I mean, it's Twitter, of course, but it's still like she just keeps pulling shit out of her ass. Like, oh yeah, wizards, they regularly have orgies where they like stand in circles and jerk each other off. Like, no, they don't, you retard. You just drunk some really weird Kool-Aid that makes you say that because you think it's gonna give you some weird brownie points in some weird circles. Weird. Fuck you, bitch. You wrote a perfectly average, mediocre series of books that people decided to glorify, even though they're just kind of a what not to do when writing fantasy. They're just so generic. Which is like fine, I could see them be somewhat mildly successful, but get your head out of your ass, bitch. You're not a good writer. You're a very average writer. That's just got fucking elevated because humans do that. Skill does not equal success, and hard work doesn't equal success. It's mostly just happenstance or connections or whatever. I also hated the Ghostbusters remake and hate how people say if you hate it, you're sexist. Like, yeah, duh. Like, that's just that in its most blatant form. Hey, let's take this movie that existed already and let's make it again, but with girls. Also, they're doing that again, I believe, with some other movie. I don't remember which one. But yeah, that's like... Ugh. Also, I've seen an interview with the director, and he is such a fag. Like, in that fucking interview, he dressed up as a clown and walked around getting laughed at by women. I think he's got some kind of sub kink that I'm not into. Some kind of humiliation thing. He's a weirdo. But yeah, that movie was just pure signs of why that's such a bad thing to have. Like, it doesn't empower women, it just patronizes them because, oh look, you get a guy movie, but you get with them with girls instead. But you're not gonna get your own girl movie because girls can't be something that men can't be. It doesn't even work in context. It doesn't even serve its own purpose. It's so worthless. All it does is piss people off and make a small amount of people happy that aren't gonna really pay your wages anyway. See what else I missed. See, I think I saw something that I just missed. Oh, there we go. Adult Swim will make 6 more seasons for Rick and Morty, and this is bad. Is it? I mean, I like Rick and Morty, but I don't like Adult Swim, so I guess that's bad. Like, fuck Adult Swim. And also fuck half of Rick and Morty. Like, I like Rick and Morty, and I like the guy making it, like Justin Roiland. But the other guy is... He's the kind of people we've just been talking about here. Like, ugh. You die if you don't say you're not a Nazi. You die. Yeah, that guy is a total fuckhead. I don't know why he works with Justin. It's just... He must be supplying something that makes Rick and Morty work. And apparently they are good friends, but... I don't see how they can be, because Justin is a cool guy and the other guy is not. And I know opposites attract, but that's also only true to an extent. And like, all I can really see in Rick and Morty that is like his work is the stuff that I don't like. Stuff like the fucking feminist episode or Pickle Rick, because memes, yay. I mean, I didn't hate that episode. It was kind of a fun look at what Rick can do even when he has literally no limbs, but it's stupid. I don't like that guy. I'll not try to stop spamming and do you remember me, Papa? I don't remember a Papa, but I remember your name and your profile picture. Yeah, we're just gonna remove the topic because we moved on now. Do something else. I don't know what. Yes, I'm not gonna put on the topic, but I'm gonna remove that one. I remember I told him I was going to feature you as a background character in my comics series Chaos Man, and my co-creator told me that in order to do that we need to get your permission first. Technically you don't need it, you can just do it. I'm not really a copyrighted character, but I mean sure you can do that, I don't really mind, but I don't know. I would prefer you make your own characters, but if you want to put me there, then go on and put me there, you have my permission, I guess. And now the chat is just full of papa, so that's not really a good fodder for continuing this. Let's check the settings though, because okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Silence. It's so silent, so engaging. People gladly watch this shit. Yeah, it's gonna be a big break on YouTube. Just sitting around not talking. Do you have any ideas in the works that you may or may not do well? I mean, I have plenty of ideas. The problem is just that I probably may not do them. But yeah, like I have ideas for videos. I just either don't have the capacity to make them because of my depression state, or I just don't want to make them because they either wouldn't turn out well enough, or they would turn out well, but I don't want to do them yet because then only a handful of people are going to see them, and I want a bunch of people to see them if they're going to be good. But that doesn't really work because I'm not going to get an audience without making good content, so I got my logic wrong. I might start to round things off if things don't start happening in chat, which usually means that things start happening in chats, but whatever. I have over an hour of this now, and I want to get to doing other things with my Sunday evening eventually, I guess. Not sure what though. Nothing productive, that's for sure. Would you be willing to share for a little feedback? I guess I could just throw some ideas out there. For one, I wanted to make an Undertale video actually. At first I wasn't gonna do it because, I mean, it's Undertale, everyone has already done everything you can do with Undertale, like everything's been said. At least so I thought, but then I realized that the thoughts I have don't really seem to be represented anywhere. Because I didn't like Undertale. Or either I really liked it, but then there was stuff that I disliked so much that it kind of ruined the experience of the entire game, and I want to talk about that stuff, which nobody seems to care about. They just seem to think that stuff is good too, but it's not. It's horrible. I hate it. It's so... Like, for again, it did so much right, it's so weird for it to get so much wrong. Especially when a lot of it that it got wrong was done right already in the game. But they didn't do it right afterwards. It's so stupid. That's something I will wanna like talk about. And another thing, what else was there? Oh, I'm currently watching Teen Titans, and I would like to review that when I'm done doing that. We'll see how that goes. So far, I'm not really enjoying it as much as I thought I would. Like, I expected it to be this, like with how people talk about it, I expected it to be this gem of a show, but I find it to be kind of average. Just kind of an ordinary 2000s cartoon. And it also has some pretty glaring issues that I would like to discuss. Well, not discuss, just kind of recite in a video. There's no real discussion happening there. I'm just talking to myself. What else? Oh, well, also, while we're talking about popular things, also Steven Universe. But I don't really feel motivated to do that because everyone's already shitting on Steven Universe, and me doing it as well wouldn't really do much. I wouldn't really score much views from that because there's already other videos to click on for that, and I don't think I would really get much people watching me because, like, actual subscribers, because I would just look like I'm jumping on a bandwagon, even though I'm not, because I'm really just agreeing with people because for my own reasons. Steven Universe is garbage. And it wasn't garbage at some point, but then it became garbage, and now it's bad. And also things that when it was good on accident. That's just so fascinating to me. How a show can be made good, but the people making it think it's good for different reasons than it actually is. It's like, is that what it's like to be in the mind of Daddy Derek, who made the fucking Cool Cat movie? Like, just so detached from reality, it's insane. Like, some of the things about how they manage things over at the SU place and their thought processes are just so alien. It's like, have you been outside ever? Were you born in that office and trained to do this from birth? It's bizarre to me. I like the Undertale idea. It's been around for a bit and probably needs a critical look at it without the roasting the last people. Yeah, not that we didn't really have it initially. Like, my first playthrough, I really liked it, but then I got to the part I didn't like, and I was immediately like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to listen to the songs without making this connection, am I? And that still holds true. I haven't listened to the songs since after that, and the problem is that game has a really good soundtrack. Like, a surprising amount of really solid songs. Usually a soundtrack has like 1 or 2 songs that really stick out, and the rest are like passable, just background noise in the game. But there are so many catchy tunes in that game. But now I can't listen to them without making associations to bad things, so that's great. Fuck you. But yeah, that's something I still want to make eventually. I don't know when. Like, that's when that actually matters to me. I need to get video ideas where I don't really care if they fail. Because there are videos I want to make, but I want them to be successful and receive a lot of views and comments. So I have to get more ideas where it's like, it's whatever. Like, if they fail, then that's bad, and if they don't, then that's great. I'm building an audience for myself. So basically, I have to make videos I don't actually care about, which is also hard to me because it kind of goes against the whole idea of making videos for me. Where vids, dude? This is a vid. You're watching a vid right now, kind of. It's a stream, but it's a sort of vid. And the vids are in some part of my mind where I can't find them. At least not the will to make them. So what do you think of what I said in my last comment? I missed it, I'm sorry. Oh, fuck my voice. I'm gonna have to stop real soon. I'll do it maybe for like, I don't know, 2 minutes or so. And then I'll stop it. Because I think I'm starting to exhaust the possibilities here. I think the screen is it being morphed? Yeah, it's totally being morphed. Why is it doing that? Is the aspect ratio wrong? Do I have to fix that? I don't care, these are low effort anyway. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and round it off now and do other things. At least now I made my quote-unquote video for the week. I'm gonna try to make an actual video next week, but we'll see how that goes. Should at least be able to squeeze out a depression update or something small like that. And eventually maybe I'll manage to find a topic that I don't care too much about, but enough to make a video about, so I can get into that sweet spot of doing content that I can allow to fail. So that I can do stuff like talking about why Undertale isn't good, even though it should be good, because it has all the rights to be good, because it's good in some aspects, but not others. Fuck, I'm tired. I did not sleep much yesterday. Because I go to bed so fucking late, and I had to get up early today in order to do the D&D thing. Ugh. I love these streams you do, and I like that you interact with your fans. I guess it's fun to interact with the fans on my end as well. At least some of the fans. Yeah, I'm picking favorites. I'm not gonna do that thing where you say that, oh, I love all my fans equally. No, some of you are better than others, and I'm gonna let you figure out which ones are which. Do you think that you're uprising from your depression because of your fans on your channel? I don't really dare say anything about that because it comes in, it goes up and down. And also, if I mean, I'm more of a down right now because I'm very unproductive recently. I'm mostly just playing games and useless stuff like that. Like, sometimes I get these spurts of motivation to do something, whether it's writing or making games or something, but I just haven't had that in a long time now. I've been doing the same old things. But yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I don't dare to say anything there. As far as I'm concerned, it's just still same old thing. But anyway, I'm going to stop this now. So, wait. I'll send you a drive of you as well. When it's done, can you tell me where to send them? I can send them with my email. It should be in my channel's about page, if that still exists. If you didn't remove it. Yeah. So anyway, goodbye to all you little people, and no more things happen up. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna stop soon, I promise. But I had any idea would probably be good for a video, keeping ideas back because you don't feel like it's worth something. You're just a priest. Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth something. It's more a matter of making sure that people actually watch them because they're worth so much. No links in the about section. Hold on, I'll check. I'll do this little short tidbit before we stop. Show channel. About. Yeah, no, it is there. It's like for business proposals, and then it's like my email, and then that's what it is. It's not for business proposals. It's for like, it's just my email. It's just for random shit, like people sending me whatever. You can bother me whatever you want. I may not actually respond, but it's there if you want to send stuff to it. I get spammy email to it at some point, like at times, so it's okay. But yeah. Anyway. Now I'm just gonna take my ass off the chat so I don't delay this again. So yeah, bye to all you people.